welcome to another video, another tarot reading video. So we are going to go over the general energies for the entire month of January in 2023. Before we actually get started, I just wanted to mention some important dates that will be coming up in January that will kind of influence the overall energy. So first we're going to be having a full moon in Cancer on January 6th, which at the time of this video is only a few days away. So the sign of Cancer is really about motherhood, our emotions, and finding strength within our emotions. So that may be one of the influencing energies at this time. But then later in the month, we'll get a new moon in Aquarius, which is the sign of innovation and creativity and detachment. So those are going to be the two important dates to kind of look out for. But otherwise, let's get into the reading. Hi Taurus, I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be going over your past, our most recent past, your present, your future, as well as your thoughts and feelings for January 2023, for the whole month, and then we'll be pulling some advice for you. Starting out, we have the Literary Witches deck, and then I have the Crystal deck over here, which I will be pulling for your overall energy. So we will start shuffling those first before you get into your tarot cards and start the overall reading. So thank you so much for joining me. So what is the overall energy for Taurus in January 2023? What's the overall energy? I did this one. Okay. And then we will grab our crystal deck. So, what's the overall energy for Taurus? Ooh. This one, sorry, it just took me a minute. Obviously, overall energy for Taurus 2023. This guy. Okay. So now that we have our set of oracle cards, we'll put them off to the side for now. I'll begin pulling on your past. So for your past, we'll be using the Tarot of the Divine, and then I'll pull on your present and then your most recent future. So I'll do that first. Feel free to just sit back and listen to the sounds of the rain as I put the intention out there. It's in most recent past for Taurus. These two kind of wanted to come out together, so I'll take them both. This one and then this one. So what is present. For Taurus. June. This one. And then for the future. So what is in your future? Taurus. This one. And sorry, there's another one that's like falling out of my hand. And okay. So I'll just make a little bit more room so that we can pull your thoughts and feelings at the moment, and then we will pull the bottom cards from each of the deck, and that will formulate your advice for the month of January. So okay. So, actually, I'll leave that deck there. And then I'll pull your advice in the order that I pulled the cards from. So this pile will be your advice. And since I can't quite fit all of the cards on the table, we'll first go over your overall tarot cards, and then we'll go over the overall energy, how you're feeling, your advice, to kind of help to paint the whole picture. So I'll put these cards kind of off to the side for now, and we'll focus on what's happening in your most recent past. My lovely bulls. So Taurus, the first card that's happening in your past is the Hermit. Interesting. Time of reflection. And then the next card is the Hierophant. Oh, these two have very overlapping energies, very similar energies. Very focused on the self, the relationship with the self is what I'm getting off of here, at least for now, but let's see what the last card is. And it is the Emperor. Interesting. So let's look at the present now. So I'll kind of shift the cards a little bit. In your present, you have the Six of Coins, and then you have the Seven of Cups, the Nine of Cups. So we're jumping up here in the set of cards. Sorry, I wanted to say suite, like, but I don't know why I thought of like a hotel suite, so I don't know. And then we have your nearest future. So we have the Magician, and then we have the Seven of Cups again. Okay, so very big Seven of Cups energy pulling through here. I'm going to shift the cards down so I can have some more space. And the last card that you have is the Moon. It showed up in reverse. If you read reversals or take reversals, I would just make the note of that, but I don't, so I'm going to flip it up the other way. So we have the moon. And just looking overall, so in your recent past, it looks like you've taken time to really self-evaluate the things that are really going on in your life, and have been developing a spiritual connection to spirit or your sense of self. And what do I mean by that? Well, at the beginning of the year, sometimes we make a list of the things that we've accomplished within the past year, and then we think about what kind of things we want to do in the future, or what kind of person that we want to develop into. And this is not just a beginning of the year sort of thing. Sometimes it can happen in the middle of the year where you think, I want to be like this kind of person, so how can I get from point A to point B? And so that's really what I'm feeling off of this hermit, and this hermit kind of solitude energy. Like, you've been really taking the time to like think by yourself and not let your thoughts be tainted by other people's thoughts or other people's influences or expectations. So I'm really feeling that, and you're becoming disciplined in the things that you actually, the person that you want to develop into, or the actions that you do want to take. And so that's why we have the Emperor card here. So you've kind of mastered your sense of self, and now you're feeling like you have more control, or you have more structure within your life to move forward and do the things that you want. And because of that, you're feeling more generous. You're in better spirits and a better mood, and are willing to lend a hand and support other people around you. And once again, sorry if you hear any background noise, I apologize. But there's still something that you're trying to figure out. There's a wish. There's a wish, or there's something that's missing from your life in a way, because the Nine of Cups kind of represents like ultimate satisfaction with where you're at. In the original tarot card, there's a man sitting in the middle, and he's enjoying all of the 9 cups that he's made over his life. But from this energy from the 7 of Cups, it feels like you're just missing that 10th cup that would really complete you complete your 9 of Cups. So you would have your 10 of Cups, but you can't figure out what exactly it is. And so you're struggling because there are so many choices. You've developed into a well-rounded person who's in control. So now it's up to you to make a choice. It's not really a set path. And so I feel like you're finding a little difficulty with this. And it's bleeding into your future because there is still some murkiness. You don't know which path is the right path to take, as represented by the moon, because there are 2 paths. The one that represents the domestic dog, the well-lit path, and then the other one which has a wolf, a rabid wolf, and represents darkness. So you're trying to manifest whatever that dream is and figure it out, but ultimately you have to walk on this path once more. And maybe this hermit energy is still kind of flowing through, because this is something that you have to do on your own. It's up to you to make yourself happy, and nobody else can determine that but you. So you're still trying to figure it out. So that's what I get from your past, present, and future at the moment. So I will clear the table and set up how you're feeling internally, and then the advice cards, and we'll have a look at the oracle cards next. Okay, Taurus. So let's get back to what you're feeling internally. So the first card that you have is the World, which is a very interesting feeling that you have at the moment. And then you have the Queen of Wands. And last but not least, you have the Four of Wands. Okay. So it seems like you feel like you're at the top of the world currently at the moment. Maybe things have just, since you've regained the strength from the Emperor and the Hierophant and the Hermit that we talked about earlier, you kind of feel like everything has gone full circle and that you have what you need. Additionally, you also have this Queen of Wands energy, so because of the strength that you've gained from the Emperor, you really don't care about what anyone else thinks about whatever you're doing. The Queen of Wands has this black cat, and in the past, black cats were considered bad luck, so her having a black cat just means that she doesn't really care. Like, she's just doing whatever she wants to do, and she has this kind of fiery and flirty energy to her that makes people like her. And then over here you have the Four of Wands, which typically represents like a happy marriage. It's usually a relationship card, but I think in this instance we can take it as, a happy self, a happy home. So right now you're really happy in whatever you're doing, wherever you are, at least for the moment. So you're satisfied with where you're at. So let's take a look at the advice cards over here. And so your first advice card that we have is the Lovers. So I'm not surprised that the Lovers comes out, and I'll explain that after I pull the rest of these cards. So your second card is the Lovers again. Okay. Wow, it's not that, I wasn't expecting us to have two lovers, but this kind of just reiterates what I'm about to say even more, so I'll leave that there for now. And then you have the Eight of Cups. Okay, yeah, you have the Eight of Cups over here, which makes sense. And then last but not least, you have the Six of Swords. Yeah. So the advice actually is quite clear, reiterating from these two Lovers cards. So before we had the Seven of Cups show up twice, so that has to do with illusions of choice. So what the tarot cards are saying, what the universe, what spirit, what God is saying, is basically you need to make a choice. The Lovers represents a crossroads. It represents two choices. And so it's really saying that you just need to pick one. Pick whatever you think is going to be the right choice and walk away from the rest. Maybe with this Queen of Wands energy, you might be feeling a little bit arrogant or kind of cocky in a sense, just like really confident that you can have it all. But it's okay to admit that everybody doesn't have it all at the end of the day. We all have our own issues, we all have our own problems, and so while it's good to have goals, just be aware that you need to pick something and focus on it, and you really need to walk away and move away from everything else, because in the Seven of Cups you have both good and bad things. So when you say you can have it all, you can have both the good and the bad, but through being able to discern and choosing one thing that you know is going to bring you happiness, you leave behind the good. You cast or you leave behind the bad, sorry, and you cast away all those bad things, all those bad choices. So yeah, that's pretty much the advice for you, is to make the choice. With that hermit energy, maybe take some time and think about it in your own solitude. Come up with a decision, and I would say follow your intuition. Ideally, there's no right and wrong. We're all on a set path towards our own destiny, and whichever choice that you make, you're gonna be okay. And this could be for anything. This could be for like choosing a hobby, or choosing a new work environment, whether to stay in one job or to go and find a new opportunity, or even a relationship between different people. Maybe you're dating a lot of different people, and you have to make the hard choice of picking one who you think is going to be your forever partner. So that could be the case. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But yeah, let's have a look at the overall energies now that we've had a look at the advice. So for the literary witches, you have elixir. And then your second card is Sylvia Plath, which is the dark. And then for your crystal cards, we have the rhodochrosite. I'm sorry, I don't really know how to pronounce that. I hope it is the right way. So it says service, contentment, healing emotional wounds, renewal of passion. And it's a lovely red crystal. And then you also have the amber, which is harmony, home protection, calm, and attracts love. Just very interesting. Also, sorry, Miss Plath, I don't mean to cover your face. We'll have her eyes peek out from underneath. So we'll take a look at the literary witches and just get a quick rundown of what these two cards mean according to the booklet, just to give us more insight. So we have Sylvia Plath, which is the dark, living in the dark, intensity and fury. So born in Boston, Sylvia Plath was a social and academic success in spite of severe depression and suicide attempts. On a Fulbright scholarship to Cambridge University, she met and married the poet Ted Hughes. While Hughes philandered and kept bees, Plath stayed at home with two young children and wrote increasingly brilliant, scary poetry that made use of her anger at her husband and her father, intense mental states, and obsession with death. At 30, Plath ended her life by putting her head in the oven. And then we have the elixir, which means health, toxicity, attending. So really, I get a sense of healing from some sort of toxicity, and maybe that's why you went into this hermit and hierophant mode, to probably work on those internal aspects, or maybe think about what you want. And so it really shows that in your future, with whatever choice that you make, it's gonna bring a sense of renewal into your life. And I can't help but looking at like this elixir cup and thinking about the Nine of Cups that we had earlier. That final cup is what need, but you need to be careful in making sure that you're making the right choice and really walking away from things that don't serve you, and moving towards the things that do. So that's really all that I get. The only other thing that stands out to me is that well, I've kind of already said it. Yep. So just make sure you make the right choice. I get the feeling from having both two lovers cards come up. Make the choice as quick as you can, but make a thoughtful, well thought out choice, whether it comes to your relationships, your job, your hobbies, whatever you're doing, and move forward. Leave whatever toxicity, negative feelings behind. And yeah, thank you for watching so much, Taurus. So nice to have you. Hopefully there was something in here that really resonated with you, and thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day.